Hello, everybody. Good evening and good morning if you are here in U.S. But good evening if you are there in Thailand. My name is George. I'm going to be your host for today. Um, well, today we have a privilege to have three great coaches to be on our panel. And before we get ask them to introduce themselves, we just want to make sure that everybody stay afloat. So basically, please mute your microphone, and if you have any questions, just go ahead and type it in. And today is our first day for 72 of Mazda Thailand golf tournaments in Thailand that's going on right now at Pattaya. I hope everyone enjoy it and play well, of course. Today we have Coach Kelley Hovland from Maryland. We have Coach Kelley Hester from Clemson, and also Isabela Miravite. She's a former assistant coach at North Carolina, A&T. All right. So great panel. But before we start, I just want to welcome everyone again, and also we're gonna watch a 1 minute video for the past of Mazda golf event. All right, so that's a great event in Thailand. It's actually going on right now. So we are hosting a master event twice a year to qualify player to come to U.S. All right, to play Junior World Cup and so on. So which has happened in December, in January in Orlando, and also July in what you call in Virginia. All right. So let's get on it with our panel today. First, I'd like to welcome Coach Kelley Hester from Clemson. Congratulations, Coach, for the first title of the year at Tiger Classics. It's way under down there, 13. So could you please share your thought of how your team doing this year and what the season going to look like for you?
Sure, yeah, thanks so much for having me, George. So we have a little bit of a younger team this year. I would say so far we've been highlighted by our newcomer Sarah Ubelhart, who's from Switzerland, and we have two upperclassmen, two seniors that have struggled a little bit this far in our lineup, but I look for them to be probably some of our better players as the season goes on. And just really excited about our team this year. They are just progressing well. We just finished our third event of the semester, and we'll have two more. So we're about halfway through this fall season.
It's great. And I just heard from you that you're gonna have a first Thai player joining you next year.
Yeah, we're looking forward to having a junior college transfer come over starting next fall. And so she'll be our first Thai player on the women's team here at Clemson. I have coached other Thai players at other universities, but this will be my first one here at Clemson.
Wow, wonderful. Looking forward to a great news and congratulations again. Gonna be a great season for you, Coach. All right, so next would be Coach Kelley Hovland from UCL Maryland. Coach, great event, great finish this past week. Congratulations, especially your Thai player. We're talking about Thai player. So your Thai player, she finished
Of
second,
course.
right?
Yes,
Congratulations.
yes. Yes, she had a great event, Sarapa. She's from Phuket. She had a great event for us, as well as our other Thai player on our team from Bangkok, Chen and Yu, who had great events and continue to lead our team. So I've been fortunate to coach seven Thai players in my time at Maryland, and we've definitely been led by them most of those seasons. So I continue to feel fortunate to have so many great Thai players come to the University of Maryland, and I look forward to a season with a lot of success with them, kind of leading the way. Kind of similar to Coach Hester, we're a pretty young team of a lot of underclassmen, two freshmen, two sophomores, and a senior. Unfortunately, our other Thai player, Nicha Kanpai, who's from the north in Chiang Mai or Chiang Rai, is out for the season with an injury. So that's definitely kind of changed things for us this year. But I'm excited for the opportunity for a lot of the young players to get a lot of experience, and then we look forward to getting Yen back next year for an even stronger team with three Thai players on our team. So, but it's always fun to start a season and see where you're at here in September, and then the real journey of all the way until May. So it's always an exciting time of year, and looking forward to another tournament this week at the University of Arkansas.
Great, coach. Very exciting news that but you not only have Thai play, you have Taiwanese players, right? Play for you, and they're all great, and a few of them
We
on the tour.
Yeah, we call ourselves the United Nations of college golf here at Maryland. We love them from all the continents and all the different cultures, Asia, Europe, Mexico, Canada, so and of course the United States as well. So it's a really fun experience to coach that many different types of languages and foods and cultures, and be able to kind of learn from each other throughout that experience.
Great, great, coach. And I don't know if you know that one of your former players actually worked for us as well.
I
Ooh.
do know that. Lucky you.
Yeah. Well, you trained her well. This is the reason why I hosted today because she normally hosts this webinar for
Yeah.
with coaches, but I take her place and hopefully I fill up her shoes a little bit. But
Right.
you train her well, coach. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you.
We lucky to have her.
Yes.
All right, course. Next, course Isabela Milavente. She's a former assistant coach, many program, and the last one is North Carolina A&T coach.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for having me. Yes, I was a former assistant coach for North Carolina A&T State University. I'm currently back home in the Philippines, actually. So, I've had a lot of experience, working in the golf industry. I've worked with a lot of PGA members as my bosses. Our head coaches have been really good PGA members. And I also am looking forward to hopefully go back to coaching soon.
All right, coach. We're looking forward to see you next program. Thank you. All right, let's jump into the question that many family like to know. Let me start with Coach Hester first. Um, Coach, I mean, you've been in coaching for a long time, and you probably can tell, PSA, the prospect student athlete, right away. This is the right fit, not for me, so on. What's your first looking for them? Like, what's one thing that it's your screening?
Yeah, I would say there's probably not any one thing, but immediately I like to look at ball flight and how the player hits the golf ball, if what sound it makes. And on the women's side, I think speed is becoming more and more important. So we do look for good athletes who do have some speed. That's a little bit more difficult to teach. Players who already have a decent club head speed. So I would say um, 90, at least 90 miles an hour or so with your driver um, would be something that would be attractive to me. It's not a deal breaker, especially if someone is a great putter. My assistant would tell you that she looks more at the golf swing. I look more at how somebody acts on the golf course, how respectful they are to their playing partners and to their parents. because they're going to treat us similarly as coaches to how they treat their parents. And I do love a great putter. Like the famous Bobby Jones once said that a great putter is a match for anyone. So I think your ball flight is important. And if you're a great putter, that's also something that I think can be challenging to teach or change in college. We are able to teach the short game. So most of our players improve on that part of their game while they're here. But I would say golf wise, those are the two most important things that we look for.
Okay, great, coach. Ball fight, speed, putting. Sound about
Yep.
right? But ball
Yep.
fight, what were you looking for in ball fight? Like high ball or just depend on the shot that they're playing?
Well, strong ball flight. So most of our college season is in the fall and the spring. We don't get to play in the perfect weather of summer. And so we play in a lot of wind. And we look for players whose ball flight will penetrate the wind and, not get blown around too much. So high, yes, but strong at the same time.
Okay, great. So safe to say, leading up to the next question is that so you need to watch your prospect or recruit before you give in a little bit more thought to it. Sound
We like to, and I know that video is sometimes often used, especially with international kids, and that's where I would defer to my assistant, who is more of an expert in the area of the golf swing and has taught the golf swing more. She loves to look at the golf swing. She can tell a lot by looking at that. If I'm not able to watch somebody play, then obviously their scores are going to be even more important. And my assistant always wants to see the golf swing.
okay, good. Well, that in that case, leading to Coach Hovland. Um, so if you not be able to watch, how you recruit international kid?
Yeah, so I mean, a couple of things. I mean, ideally we could watch them play. So I think especially you, George, do a good job of making sure players get over to the United States. You also help us coaches get over to Thailand. So that's important. I think being familiar with whatever country you're recruiting, what are the big events? What are the who are the players that how strong are the fields? Those type of thing. If I'm just going off of scores, I want to be pretty aware of what I'm looking at in terms of, oh, this was a really good, this was a Thai LPGA event, or this was the Amateur Open last week. Those are things that I'm pretty tuned into as someone that recruits a lot out of Asia and specifically Thailand. So if I can't see you play, I want to make sure to know who you're playing against and what fields you're playing at. I even want to know the golf courses that you're teeing it up at to make sure I have an awareness of what standard that you're kind of competing in. But I'm similar to Coach Hester. I want to see maybe even Coach Hester's assistant. I want to see the golf swing. I'm a PGA and LPGA instructor, so that piece of it's really big for me as a coach because I want to recruit someone that's got good fundamentals. And it's a repeatable and a reliable swing because when you come to college, I want you to come here and compete. I don't want to necessarily be breaking down and reconstructing your golf swing. That's not my intention. I want to be helping you from 100 yards and in. That's where we really can see a lot of development. But not if you come to college with a golf swing that we're having two-way misses or is a little bit unpredictable. So if I can't see you play, those are really the things I need to see from you is that fundamentally sound golf swing, and a competitive schedule that of really good, solid tournaments against competition. And then from there, when I'm looking at scores, I'm looking at who can shoot par or better. Not necessarily for 3 rounds or 4 rounds, but I want to see how did you get to your 74 stroke average? Okay, was it a 72 and a 76, or was it 74 every single time? Right? I love to see when I look on Wagger or things like that, I want to see a 69 in there or a 70 or something like that. Even if maybe there is a couple 77s or 78s, we can help you with that. But I want to see, can you put together a round and take it below par? So the number one thing is I want to see you play in person. If not, those are kind of the things that I'm looking for.
All right. Well, great. And then you've done such a great job too, because you're recruiting many, many international players. So, so in term of if you put in term of the number, how many percentage of the one that you watch them play that playing in your team compared to you watch a video? 90-10?
That's a great
90%
question.
that you, yeah, 90% you need to be able to watch them play, so you can see them more, or how does?
What do you got, Coach? I don't know.
Well, I would say we have done more international recruiting over the last few years, and part of that has to do with some of the changes in college athletics and the name, image, likeness money, and the differences in international players there versus domestic players. And so I'd say I have 4 players on my team that I didn't, or that I've recruited that who have committed. So 4 of 10 probably who I didn't get to watch play before they committed. Now I did get to watch them play maybe before they got to campus for their freshman year, but before they were recruited or committed. Um,
Okay.
right now 40%.
40%. It's good. Good. I mean, that number is surprising me because we got a lot of questions from families, right? So what happened if I don't go play in US? How coach can, find me? Here's your answer, right? Yeah, your ball flight, your speed, your putting, and then now your score can be shooting low and high, average. Perfect.
I would
Thank
say,
you.
George, though, just to add on to that, I think though, like probably to be one of those lucky 4 that Kelley, I have 2 commits that I didn't watch play personally. I had an assistant watch, or I had a trusted person, just I got anecdotal feedback from a national team coach or something like that, but I didn't see them play. But if you are one of those people, you probably have to do something pretty special. Like, you can't necessarily be a diamond in the rough player. Versus if you come to IMG in California, I've been very lucky to go, whoa, there's something there. Do you know what I mean? Even though the score isn't super great, but it's like there's something there. I love that fight of that kid, or I love that that kid can hit it 270 yards. They can't hit the wedge into the ocean, but they can hit it 270, and I can teach them those things. Does that make sense? So
Yeah.
it's a little bit of both. I think if you can't get over here, you need to make sure to play in premier events and play well. And then we'll come and find you, I promise. But if not, then coming over here and being seen by a coach, I think can really be able to spark an interest from a coach that otherwise just a number on a scorecard might not be doing as much for you.
All right, great. Well, in that case, moving on to Coach Milavente. As Coach Hovland say, just not just a number, now the score. Outside of score, you probably have to add other stuff like potential or, the personality. What are your thoughts on that, Coach?
So on our team too, I just want to go off of what Coach Hester and Coach Hovland said. We're also a very, very international team coming from Mexico, coming from Latin America. We have Colombian players, Venezuelan players, and I feel like those kids really kept reaching out to their coaches, always keeping your coaches up to date on what events you played, what were your scores, what you did and what you could have done better on the golf course. It really shows some kind of character, and it also kind of, even if we didn't watch you play, it kind of points out what kinds of results you are producing on the golf course. Whether we see your golf swings on video. Um, we also kind of want to get to know you a little bit better while we're recruiting. So those videos don't really scream character on the golf course. So keeping in touch, always updating your coaches, coaches that you're in, schools that you're interested in, letting them know, I'll be playing in this event, come watch some highlights, or come follow along in the live scoring. Sharing those live scoring links could also pretty much help coaches find you.
Good, good, good. So it's more than just a score.
It's more than really just score. It's being able to connect with these coaches and connect with schools that you really want them to get to know you. You know, the interest of the student athlete to want to be part of your team and to want to play for you.
Okay. Good, good, good. Well, thank you, Coach. All right, let's move to the next section. Now you're talking about athlete already. Let's talk about student because you still have to comply with that portion. Let's start with Coach Hester first. Coach, GPA, what's the grade average? Any SAT score that you are looking for your recruit?
So I would say grades are very important for college. Especially for international student athletes. If English is not your first language, then you need to show that you are an effective English speaker. And so an SAT or ACT score can help with that. If you do well enough on those tests, one or the other, then you don't have to take an English proficiency test. So in the U.S. for our university, the ACT and the SAT is optional, but for international students, it's mandatory to show how strong of an English speaker you are. So I think it's still important to prepare for those. And of course, we miss a good bit of class. So it's important to show that you're a good student and that school is important to you. Um, we talk about being a student athlete, a student first, and athlete second. And so that's one of the things that's important to everyone on our team. And we want student athletes that want to achieve a degree that's going to be useful for them in life. And so important to take care of your schoolwork. If you're not eligible while you're in college, then it doesn't matter how good of a golfer you are, you're not able to compete. So I do think that it's extra challenging for international student athletes because you're changing cultures, you're speaking a different language, like all of those things are so hard. And so if you've done a good job of preparing yourself academically, it will make that transition a little bit smoother when you get to school.
Yeah, no doubt. And I mean, I can share that experience with you when I came to US 35 years ago. Zero English, zero English. And as I say, I told you all, I started this business because nobody helped me. I was bad student. I was non-qualified, coach. So that's why I'm sharing this with everybody. You better do well in school. And I share with you too that you say that it doesn't matter how good your golf game is. If you don't pass academic requirement, you're not gonna apply. Have
Yeah.
Have you ever have to sit people out in your team? All right, you gotta do your
No.
whole. No. All right.
27 years of coaching, I've never had a student that was academically ineligible.
So is that true then? They say golfer is smart.
Yeah,
Most, most are,
most
Most
are.
are.
most
All
are.
right. So good, good. All right. As I say, I came here zero English, so resources that the school provided had helped me a long way. So leading to Coach Hovland, what kind of resources usually a Maryland provide for student athlete that have a little bit of challenge?
Hmm. Yeah, it's different at every kind of university and every kind of level. We're fortunate to have a tremendous amount of resources for our academic support staff, and so they're with you kind of all the way, right? So as soon as you kind of commit to Maryland, we kind of make sure that you have all the information for the testing requirements. Similar to Clemson, we're a test optional university, so that's not as important. But as an international, your English proficiency test is huge for your admission. So they'll start kind of being able to help you along with that, as well as once you're admitted and you're here, we'll get your classes scheduled for you. And then once you're in those classes, making sure that you have the tutoring that you need, which is both scheduled and paid for by our academic support staff. In fact, we're going on a trip this weekend. We're going to miss quite a bit of class. So they're already organizing and scheduling Zoom tutors for them to be able to have on the road. So they're really able to kind of make sure you have whatever you need, whenever you need it, along the academic semester. And then the thing that I think so many of these academic advisors that do that so well is understand what they call kind of the matrix for your degree and which classes you need and how do we balance those with your golf schedule. And we communicate. I probably talk to my academic advisor 2 or 3 times a week on what looking forward to next semester or an issue that we're having right in this semester. But they're really a big part of our staff and making sure, like I said, from commitment to graduation, that our players have what they need to be successful both on and off the golf course.
It's wonderful, wonderful. So like Miss Coach Hester and Coach Hovland alluded to, playing golf in college, you miss a lot of school days, right?
Mm-hmm.
We did like your trip, next trip, you even have a tutoring helping them on the Zoom, mobile tutoring,
Yep.
right? How many estimate you miss the school per season for the whole year?
Yeah, once again, it kind of depends a little bit on your school and your conference. Your athletic conference sometimes has restrictions as well as your own university. We're here at the University of Maryland, we're allowed to miss 9 classes per semester. So 9 in the fall, 9 in the spring. So it's a little bit more restrictive. Some don't have any restrictions and they can miss more, but so it just depends a little bit. But 9 classes is what we're able to miss.
So not many days then, if you nine
Not
classes.
too bad.
Yeah, yeah.
We
Well,
do
I
our
thought,
best. I know I can speak for probably Coach Hester. We prioritize that on how we can mitigate, which classes that you're missing. Even I try to be aware of how many Mondays I'm missing versus Tuesdays and Thursdays, because those are different
ah,
classes. So we try to
right.
keep an eye on that, on making sure that our players are able to, especially if you have a lab science, if you have a player on your team that's a lab science, whew, that can be very, very challenging in terms of missing those labs. So we'll, even when we're doing our academic scheduling, I'll look at our schedule to make sure we're putting that lab on the right day of the week, right? Because if we're
Yeah.
missing a ton of Tuesdays, we need to put that lab on a Thursday, that type of thing, so that we can mitigate both as much class time as we can, but then especially the really, really important ones that are tough to kind of make up.
Yeah, wow. It's just a lot of jigsaw you have to put them together for
Definitely.
to be a
Yep.
success. It's not golf itself. I kind of wondering that you always done a great job as a coach. Right after you finish the tournament, you speed them out back to school, right?
Yeah.
You play 13, 18, no, 36, 18, and then poof, you're out. Is that a requirement on NCAA Division One, that you have to be back in school at certain number of hours after the competition?
I don't think
Coach?
it's
No,
a rule. We used to be limited on prior to the event. There used to be a rule that you could only leave like 24 hours before the first tournament round, but the NCAA has done away with that. I would say that most coaches just really try to keep their kids in school as much as they can. I would say that like 90% of your success in college is showing up and being there.
Mm.
There's zero substitute for like physically sitting in your seat and being in front of your professor. And so it's important to me. We miss probably 9 or 10 days each semester, which is probably like 5 of each class. Like Coach Hovland was saying, our classes are Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Tuesday, Thursday, the same class. So if you try not to ever miss the same class twice for one trip. But sometimes, like for us, if we travel to the West Coast, then we have to fly back overnight. And it's hard for us to be back in class on a Monday if we leave the West Coast on Sunday after golf. So
Mm.
occasionally we'll have to miss 2 of the same class period for one trip. Like we go to Denver next week, we take the red eye back. And so our kids will miss that Monday of class, but we're only doing that once this semester.
I see. Yeah, you figured out beforehand how many
And
days.
and George, probably why we get out of there so fast is just like Coach said, we both have the expectation that you will be in your seat in that class the next morning. And it's a lot easier to do that if we can get you back, at 8 or 9 o'clock versus 2 or 3 in the morning, which happens. But our expectation does not change no matter what our arrival time is. So I think that we always try to get, the earliest flight out that we can, or keep that in mind in terms of how far we have to drive. But the expectation does not change depending on how much sleep you get the night before. So we try to always prioritize that. And us as coaches, we want to get home to our families as well.
That's true, especially when you have two children at home, right, Coach?
2 children. Yeah, my kids.
Yeah, it's fun. All right, Coach Milavente, in that case, any advantage for a student athlete or golfer, what major they should be taking? Because since they're going to
Um,
be missing a lot of classes, and Coach Hovland was mentioned about labs, because I think those things is hard to make up.
I think with regards to majors, it's as long as you know how you're able to time or manage your time wisely on and off the golf course, you'll be able to find that balance. I, for one, would like to share my experience. I was wanting to become a nursing major along with golf. So a lot of people told me beforehand that nursing and golf wasn't going to match well because of all these hours that I have to be doing and all of that stuff. So I feel like with the determination of me wanting to become that person or wanting to become really good in the classroom, whether I'm a nursing major, psychology major, or a biology major, I think I was able to find um, the right times to when to do things and know when to do it. Obviously, our coaches or we schedule your practices accordingly to what we can give you. We want you to become a really good student first, so we really tailor every day to what each student athlete's needs really. Some athletes may need to take classes in the afternoon, so we ask them to take morning classes. We ask them to come to the golf course in the morning, and that kind of, I guess it kind of just helps each thing on your calendar or each thing on your to-do list really.
Okay, so it's basically not one particular major that,
It's yeah, I wouldn't say 'cause I usually when I talk to recruits, I don't stop them from going for the harder majors just because if they do have that in mind, it's something that they'd want to do. And we are there to help them in the classroom and on the golf course. So we just say that as long as you're able to I would say as long as you are able to manage your time wisely, with all the class and the restrictive schedules and all of that stuff, you'll be successful in my school.
good, good, good. Well, great. All right, let's move on to the real one, the golf. Right. So I'm going to throw this question and ask all three of you because I think you all have different customized schedule, customized program to develop players once they come into you. So what are the general expectation for them to have a everyday practicing or the tournament schedule, um, just throw out in general, right? And how you can help them develop to be a better players. Let's start with Coach Hester. And the
So,
qualified, let's do with the qualified tournament as well, because everybody do qualify to play in the next tournaments, right?
yeah. So, I'll take a stab at this. Basically, in a given week, we try to have our students out of class by noon. So 12 o'clock, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And those are the days that we might play together as a team, whether it's qualifying or we might have a team practice together, maybe a team meeting with our sports psychologist. And then on Tuesday, Thursday, those are the days that our students would have labs if they needed to or whatnot. And we spend 1 hour individually with each player half of them on Tuesday, half of them on Thursday. And we ask that they all get 2 hours of total practice in. So those days are more variable in their class schedule, and that's when they could take um, an afternoon class if needed. And so we also work out on Tuesday and Thursday mornings at 7 a.m. For many years, we worked out at 6 a.m. My players did, but then they started wearing a Whoop band. I don't know if any of you are familiar with a Whoop band, but the need for more sleep was evident when they started wearing their Whoop bands. So I made a deal with them that we would move workouts back 1 hour if they would use that time to sleep. So we needed to see 2 more hours of sleep if we did that, if we continued to do that. So sleep and recovery is very important, and we do encourage our players on an off day. We always have a day off after we return from a tournament, and the NCAA requires us to have one off day each week during the season. And during our off season, which is like for us, November, December, January, we only practice 8 hours a week. You're supposed to have 2 off days. It's 20 hours a week during the season. Um, so that's what a regular week would look like. And then we would try to get those qualifiers in on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Occasionally, we'll need to do it on the weekend. I do try to give my students the weekends off when I'm able to. Um, but we're oftentimes traveling on the weekend, maybe at a tournament on the weekend, or hosting recruits. Football, American football is a big deal here at Clemson. And so our students enjoy going to those games, and we want them to be a regular student as much as they can. Like, go support the other sports teams, go enjoy a football game, soccer, whatever it is, and maybe find a club or something that you're excited to take part in. Like, part of the college journey is becoming like, you go from being like a member of your family and kind of doing what your family's always done to like becoming who you're going to be in this next stage of your life after college. And so we really want to give them the time and space to explore and do some of that too.
Great. They busy. They busy the
Busy,
whole time.
very
They
busy.
busy the whole time. Great. How about you, Coach Hovland, at Maryland?
Yeah, very similar. Very similar schedule. Monday, Wednesday, Friday is definitely we're together as a team. Starting at 1 o'clock. Most of the time, that's on the golf course, playing in some capacity. Today, before we leave for a tournament tomorrow, so we always have a competition day. So today's practice is just 7 different competitions where they really just try to get really in the competitive mindset today. In fact, we're doing Team Europe versus Team USA, if you can see.
Yay!
So some really fun competition in the spirit of the Ryder Cup, which will be really good. But then Tuesdays and Thursdays is definitely a more individualized session. So I'll give them typically one. We call them assessments or evaluations, but it's a drill that we all know what the goal is. We do it generally once or twice a week, and then we have a board outside of our locker room, and you go up on the board on how you did on that assessment that day. So you can kind of have both the competitiveness, but then also an awareness of what you need to do to be better. So we generally, those are on Tuesdays and Thursdays, where we have a little bit more individual time and a little bit of that assessment time to make sure everyone's on the right track. Qualifying, every single coach in the country does it differently, I feel like. I even do it differently throughout the year based on what our team does, but I'm a big believer in qualifying for events, both to keep our team that's in the lineup competitive and also giving our people that are not traveling the opportunity to get in the lineup and giving them something to work for when they're not on the road. So the beginning of the year, we'll do 4 rounds of qualifying for all 5 spots. And then from there on, you kind of go, for example, SJ, who just was runner up, was obviously at our last event, got exempted into this event. Ice, our other tie player, I think she got 8th at our first tournament at the Cougar Classic. So she was exempted in. So you're able to kind of work with, obviously reward great performances, but then also give opportunities to the rest of the team to get in the lineup. So we qualify as much as the schedule allows within that kind of short amount of time that you have to prepare for the next tournament. But we're always trying to make sure that we stay competitive through qualifying.
Great. So, and then sometime when you have a back-to-back tournament, basically you make one qualify is good, and you're not going to have another opportunity for a while.
Yeah, that's what as schedule allows is really key because yeah, we went kind of back to back, so we had to take basically all coaches' picks, which we played pretty well, so it was a pretty easy decision to just take everyone to the next tournament. But yeah, a lot of times if the schedule doesn't permit, or you're trying to keep people fresh or not fatigued, you might have to have coaches' picks.
Great. Well, thank you. Coach Milavente, you doing
Um,
coach pick as well? Or do you
yeah,
have
we also
everybody
do have coach
pre-qualified?
picks. So we
Yeah.
take our first ones. Usually our upperclassmen get the opportunity in the first couple qualifying rounds to show what they've got. So um for us, we like Coach Hovland said, it's pretty similar. We will have qualifying, I meant workouts 3 times a week, Monday, Thursday, Friday. I believe that's what our team has right now. And then have qualifying, 9-hole qualifiers as our schedule allows us to. And then maybe 1 or 2 rounds of qualifying on a Saturday, or maybe a day that we can get 18 holes in just because of sunlight. And we usually do it after class anyways in the afternoon. Um, and with our practice, we usually have team practices. Our men's and women's practice at the same location, our men's and women's practice at the same time. So we have our friendly competitions between our men's team. We do the similar like Ryder Cup. We'll partner up with um a teammate in the men's team, and we'll do a little bit of a small competition just to see, some of our girls become um these their egos go way up, then try and beat our men's team. So I think it's the friendly competition is really good just to help them be more competitive during qualifying as well, just so we can see or kind of push them to try and see what they can really do. Sometimes they don't really do that during just team practices. So
Good, good, good. Well, thank you. I think we just spend so much talking time now is went over time a little bit. So I'm gonna cut it short. So anybody have any question, from the floor, just go ahead and raise your hand or open up your camera or just type it in your question. If not, I'm gonna ask my question and have Coach do a closing remark, helping all this family. Anybody? One, two, three. If not, all right, let me ask this. Financial, all right, the scholarship, it's changing so much with your world.
Mhm.
And for me, I couldn't keep up. I have to talk with you, and because you're being informed by university all the time about the money and scholarship, and what's the last time I heard is 8 spot. I don't know if it's approved yet, or everybody gonna have more years to play. I just heard from Coach Hessler that they actually from junior college they already started this year, so one extra year. But I heard next month they're gonna go to everybody have 5 years now. So Coach, what's up in your world? Could you please update it and especially talk about money part because a lot of people and family love to hear this.
You want me to
Go
go
ahead.
first?
Yes, please.
Okay. So right now we're at 9. The roster availability is 9, and then each university can determine up to 9 scholarships if they want to fund at that level. So 6 was the traditional scholarship number in women's golf, and so to be able to get to 9 would be a huge advantage. And that really just depends on the university and their ability to be able to fund up to that level. So I would say there's more opportunities now for scholarships for all players, whether they're international or domestic. And with the NIL space, the name, image, likeness space, there are some limitations with international students, but our university has allowed us to offset that by paying for some more flights home for international students. return flights and things like that. So it's not a total loss, I think, the NIL space for international students, because it has opened up room to be able to help with some extra expenses. So tuition, room, board, books would be considered a full scholarship, plus what we call cost of attendance money, which is just cash above that amount to help with expenses. So a full scholarship here at Clemson would be worth about $65,000 for someone coming from overseas. And on top of that would be the cost of attendance money, so closer to like $70,000.
And cost of attendance is about 6,000. Oh, it's all dependent on the school as well, right? Because
Yeah,
it
it
depends.
depends on where you live, and it's a number that's tied with the federal government on what they consider how much it costs to live in your area. Our cost of living, it would be relatively smaller probably than Maryland, because they're in a big city. We're in a more rural space, it varies from place to place.
Okay. And then approximately it's probably about 6,000, I guess, around that area.
Yeah, it's close to 6,000 here.
Yeah. And there's no more Eston money? They,
So at our school, we did away with the Austin money. Um, that was about $6,000 that went to our students. Not all schools did it, but we were able to do it there for a few years. But we basically that money counts against the revenue cap for football and basketball and all of that. It's pretty complicated, but basically that counts against other parts of the finances of college athletics. So in return, we were able to do more scholarships, which is a huge blessing here at Clemson.
great. All right, coach. And, scholarship worth a lot more play for you, not 65,000. It's double that. Get a chance to play for you. Um, Coach Hovland?
Yeah, I mean, it's a very complicated time, I think, for all of us. I think every few weeks it's a new update. So I think you really have to pay attention to what level you're playing at, because not everyone is going to. I think a lot of schools. I think Coach Hester and I are probably pretty fortunate to be in a bigger conference where we generally got more resources, but this is a very costly kind of time for a lot of universities, so some colleges have went down as well. So it really just depends from school to school on kind of really where their program is, and the prioritization of the athletic department. But yeah, the just generally speaking, we have 9 spots available now, so they're very, very valuable now. Each spot, I kind of say, if you have this golf bag, a Maryland golf bag, it is a very, very valuable thing nowadays because there's only 9 of them. Before some teams would have 10, 11, 12. On the men's side, sometimes you'd see 14 players, right? So it was a little bit of a less exclusive commodity, but now we're very much limited. Now that's changed things too in terms of the walk-on space on who can be on your roster. Because we do have scholarships, we might just not have space for you. So it's kind of a little bit of an imperative to find the right spot for you as a player, of where you're going to have a spot on the roster, and unfortunately where you can keep your spot on the roster, because they are such valuable things. I think there's a lot of movement in the transfer portal, in terms of making sure that the roster, you have the players that you need. There's probably a little bit more impatience with coaches and players to make sure that everyone is providing value in some way or another. And I've always told my players, it doesn't always have to be a golf score, but you have to contribute. You have to have value, whether that's through leadership with our team, through its academics, it's in the weight room, and of course on the golf course. But you really, now with those limited spots on a roster, have to be able to provide value to your program and to your coach.
Yeah, no, that's wonderful. Especially your golf course is like 5 minutes walking from the dorm, right? It's
Let's
very
go.
valuable.
It's
Those
it's
nine
a pitching
privileges.
ledge away from where you sleep, right, George?
That's right. Yeah, it's very valuable. That's right. I never thought of nine, only 9 now. No more walk on spot. That's
Yeah.
true. It's privilege. Coach Miravite, same
Um,
thing. at the school?
We're smaller. We have smaller teams with compared to Coach Hester and Coach Hovland. We only have seven on our women's. That was a stretch because we asked to add one more. But we only have really six on A&T. We're a smaller. We have a smaller population on our campus, so we're only limited to really six scholarships on our women's, and then about not eight on our men's, I believe. So really we try and find those who are really going to be able to contribute on campus, on the golf course, within the team, within our community. A&T being an HBCU, so we have a lot of impact as well, with the minorities. Yeah, and we do get a lot. We try and reach out to, alumni and sponsors as well. So that's something that we also try and um, kind of train you to do while we are working with your on your golf. So
Great. Well, I mean, it's only five player play in each event, right? So that's all that matter. Um, Coach, anybody have any last words, wisdom like to share with the family in Asia?
Yeah, I think really work hard on your game, continue to play in really good tournaments. Listen to George; he's going to give you some good advice, even if it's not what you want to hear. I think being able to have people that have insight to this experience, because while it can be very complicated and maybe sometimes overwhelming, it's a wonderful, life-changing experience to come study in the university and to be part of a golf program that fits your goals, your family's goals. And it's not just about the logo. Okay, don't just chase the best and biggest logo. Chase the one that fits on your chest the most. And that could be academically, that can be scholarship wise, that could be region and location. So it's a wonderful opportunity, and the fact that you're on this call, I think, means that you're probably on the right track, and wish you all of the best.
Thank you, Coach.
Yeah, I would just agree with everything that Coach Hovland said. College golf is an amazing experience, and I think that every player that's come through and done it would tell you that it's hard, but it's probably one of the most rewarding things that they've ever done. And so, I would encourage you all to get out of your comfort zone and feel free to reach out to colleges and universities, coaches who you're interested in, and be persistent, keep doing it, be consistent with it, and good things will happen.
Great. Well, thank you, Coach
um,
Miravite.
I just want to say, because I also was an international student coming from the Philippines all the way to my first school was in Chicago. So um, I just want you guys to know that it is important to also start early, be able to try and find where you'd want to be. It also takes time for you to find out which area, which place, what kind of team culture you're going to be looking for. You're going to treat them as family. They're going to be one of your closest friends on campus. So I believe that being able to find the right place for you is going to be just as important on um, as anything in your life right now. So that goes with golf and school. So I wish you guys the best of luck, and yeah.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I didn't know you came from Philippines, but that's a great experience. But in that case, I just like to close with my remark that I thank you for all three of you to be on the call today. And, I got a privilege to get to know each one of you pretty well over the years. And anyone who got lucky to be able to play for these coaches here in U.S. I mean, Coach Hester has 27 years in coaching experience. If you don't get better, improve it here, it's going to be hard. But anyway, looking for the privilege to working with you and have our right people to have opportunity to play for you, Coach. Well, thank you again for your time. for today, and good luck in the rest of the season.
You.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Tom.